I'm over on the back side of my property here. This was a 70-acre piece that I bought. On the outer edge of it, there's an old sand pit. And the original owner, when they had cut the trees and lifted all the stumps, they put the topsoil into piles, and I come and get some occasionally. There's some piles here. They're all overgrown with crap, but it's got a lot of little stone in it, you know. It's full of little stone, but I'll bring a few buckets with the Kubota here, get it back to the house, and I'll run them through my sifter, and then all the little stones, I'll just throw it all in pails, and the next time I go to the cabin, I'll deposit all that little stone into the cabin road. No sense in wasting it and tossing it aside, you know. It's good fill for the road, and I spend a lot of money on stone over there, so I'll make use of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get going on this. You see what I got to put up with a border collie? The end result, some nice sifted topsoil. It's a little on the sandy side, but that's okay. Well, I've got the garden all in now. Like I said in my other video, I'm doing quite a bit of experimenting this year. Normally I do either the raised beds or the traditional gardening. This year, since I'm not going to be able to tend it like normal, I've decided to go ahead with the heavy mulching. I've got quite a layer of leaves and hay on top. And here is where I stacked all that firewood during that video when I was preparing for the winter. And all the wood chips and bark and all of that fodder from cutting firewood laid on top of the garden as well. And I wasn't planning on planting this year because of all the plans that I have for going to the cabins and stuff. But as I said already, it just doesn't feel right to not plant, so I had to put something in the ground. And again, I'm not going to be around to tend it as much, so I'm hoping that the heavy mulching will keep the soil damp and weed free. So I'll show you what I got going on. Over here, I have a couple raised beds. These are cucumbers here. This is just farm fence. Some folks call it page wire. It holds itself on the barrel really well, but it also will allow me to pull it off if I want to. This, I'm going to have the cucumbers grow up the fence, and I find them to stay a lot better that way, and I can mow out here and things don't get all overgrown and look all shabby. So I have two barrels here with cucumbers. Here, these are beets. Now, I plant the beets really tight because I'm harvesting beet greens here. I like the beet greens a lot more than the beet itself. So I don't really worry about it growing into a beet very much. This grows right up thick with beet greens, and I can harvest them all summer long. And I had great success doing it this way. And I have fresh beet greens throughout the summer, and then I harvest the beets at the end. And I've been able to have a really nice harvest that way. So this has worked out good for me. Now all of these seeds here, got these all for free 3 years ago. Sell by 12/12. These are all outdated seeds that expired in 12/12. I've got a lot of them, and they're still working. I was at a show, and there was a hardware store that had a big box of outdated seeds, and they were giving it away. So I filled a big bag full here and planted those in 2012, and then 2013, 2014, and now it's 2015. I took another chance and put the same seeds in the ground and had really, really good success with them. Now the hoops allowed me to get a good start. This is mid-May here. Now up here in northern New York, we're right on the Canada border, And traditionally, we don't usually set seed until Memorial Day weekend. In fact, we just had a frost 2 nights ago. But I had everything covered and everything worked out really nice. These hoop gardens are really, really nice and allow us to get a good early start. So we got tomatoes here in this hoop. There's a couple hills of butternut here. Those are banana peppers there. Those are bush beans over there. We got zooks here, and I had some extra zooks. So out here, this is a low, really wet area, and I just threw this here with some of the extra zooks that I had with the seeds were popping up. So I moved them over to here, and I'll just let them sprawl out here. This low spot last year probably had some old zucchinis in it, and they grew on their own, really, really lush. So hopefully those will do just the same. Then over here in this hoop, these are all bush beans here and bell peppers there. Yeah, kind of taking a chance with this whole leaf fodder thing. I would much rather see it be nicely composted, but like again, I wasn't planning on planting a garden this year, so decided to put one in, and some things might not do good and maybe they will, hard saying. Well, like I said, taking a chance with the garden. If it doesn't pan out very good, really nothing lost other than a few hours put into it. All the seeds were free. Been planting with free seeds now since 2012. So, hey, if it happens, it happens. If not, oh well. Yeah, so that's the garden, and we'll see what happens. Now, over the last year and a half or so, I've had quite a few folks asking to see some footage of the chicken coop. Now, I don't have any birds this year, so I'm going to have to flash back to some of my previous footage. I don't have a lot of it, but I'll show it to you, what I have, and satisfy the folks that want to see more about the coop. I'll get this cleaned out of here and I'll show you what the coop is like. Normally I keep the coop nice and clean, but in the winter I let the poop build up and I just keep layering it with hay. Like I mentioned in my other video there, the poop creates a lot of heat, and this coop is all insulated. It's all insulated. It's got a little bit of concrete on the floor here, and it stays nice and warm. As long as the temps don't really drop much below 10 below, the water will stay without freezing. But once it gets below 10 below, then I have to keep replacing the water. Now I went around the perimeter here with railroad ties, and then the coop part here is actually 2 layers of railroad ties, and I filled it full of sand, and this over here is another layer which is higher because I didn't want the pen to get soggy, and it never has, which is really good. So then I filled this full of sand and I compacted it, and then just with my little cement mixer I mixed up, I think it took 20 bags of concrete, and I just got on my hands and knees with my hand trowels and troweled off a floor here, and it actually come out really nice and smooth. So now it's really easy to clean. And I built the coop to look decent because if I decide not to have chickens anymore, now I got a usable shed in the backyard that looks good. And this is all insulated here, and it's got a metal roof, and it just stays high and dry. So I would have a nice little shed here to put something else in. It's got a concrete floor and be ready to go for whatever projects I want to do. I put a green metal roof on it, and it's a nice looking little bungalow there, and they are living in style. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this coop cleaned out, put some fresh hay in here, and that'll be it for today with them. Yeah. I really like using hay over shavings. When I first got the hens, I was putting shavings in here, and I was finding it was a lot more difficult to clean it that way. The shavings would get saturated and packed down, and it was just a pain. And then I tried using some hay, and it works out a lot better. The birds are always kicking it around, stirring it up, and it tends to stay drier in here. And plus, it entertains them. And I'm going to go ahead and put some out in their run. And I give them out there too because it entertains them, it keeps them busy, and they pick on each other a lot less that way. So I've got it all done in here. I can let the girls back in and get some hay put in out in their pen there. In the morning when the sun is coming through this window in this door here, I can look out from the house and I can see all the girls right here enjoying the morning sun. And you know, I picked that door up off of a job many years ago, and I figured, what the hell, I use it in the coop. It allows a lot of light, and they still lay pretty good all winter long. So I've been pretty pleased with the way this coop has turned out. Hey girls, come on. Hey, take it easy. Take it easy on me. You act like you haven't eaten in a month. Yeah, I know better. Need a food bill. You get the food bill, you know. Come on, Miss Pretty. Come on, get some of it. Come on now. Come on. There you go. Yeah, the girls. Yeah, that's my fingers. What are you doing, you dumbass?